So hello, we're here with Tiana and Emma, the two NOSM medical school students that have been with us for the last 4 weeks. It's hard to believe that 4 weeks has gone by already, but we're here doing a follow-up interview with them to see what their experience was like. So what's one memorable experience that you've had?
So I'll answer that to start. We had the opportunity to participate in a sweat lodge ceremony. It was my first time and her first time participating in that type of ceremony. And during the ceremony, we received our Anishinawbek names. So mine is Wazinodekwe, which means Northern Lights Woman.
And mine is Ogishidakwe, which means Warrior Woman. And then to bounce off that, definitely the sweat was an amazing experience. But I think my most memorable experience was spending the day at Elders Eagle Lodge, where we got to just sit around a fire and chat with elders. And I think something learned there was just that the most beautiful gift that you can give someone is your time. And it was amazing to hear their stories and just chat with them.
Thanks for sharing that, Tiana and Emma. What's one key takeaway or lesson that you've learned?
I can start, I guess.
Yeah.
I think definitely over the past month, something that I've learned is that honestly, we're all human. And I think sometimes academia or research or school emphasizes our differences between people. But I think something that I've learned is that, whether you practice Roman Catholic tradition, whether you practice Indigenous ceremony, whether you eat bannock, whether you eat bread, at the end of the day, we're all human. And it's really important to kind of share our culture and share our appreciation for culture, because that's how we learn from each other. And I've been grateful for that over the past month.
Similarly, I learned that culture holds the key to wellness. In our medical training, we learn a lot about problems, and we don't learn a lot about what it takes to be well. But when you work with community members, that's when you really learn what it takes to be well as an individual, as a family, as a community.
Thanks again for sharing that. So what do you plan to do with this experience going forward?
You want to go first?
Sure, yeah. I think personally for me, I've always been interested in rural and remote medicine. And after spending this month in Sagamok, I think I've realized that rural and remote medicine goes hand in hand with Indigenous health, just based off all the challenges that both kinds of communities experience and all the overlap in access to services and kind of how communities are resilient in adapting to that. And as a future physician, I'd like to be part of that and be an advocate for that and try to work in rural and remote communities.
Yeah, so similarly, I also plan to work in Northern Ontario, likely in an Indigenous community. But I think what I'm learning is that it's just important, while I'm going to be a professional, to still be a person first and to be personable in my interactions so that I can have good relationships with my patients and the community that I serve.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks very much again for taking the time to meet with us. It was a pleasure having you here in Sagamok for the last 4 weeks. And good luck in your medical studies. We look forward to when you're a doctor. Maybe you'll come back and visit us.
Thank you to everyone in the community as well.
Miigwech.